Hey guys, a little bit of a note before we get started on this episode. I rushed through this thing so fast that I forgot to press play on the camera, or I forgot to press record on the camera. But the good news is I have the audio. So what I'm going to do is leave this lazy introduction to you, and then you're going to enjoy this nice graphic and listen to the episode. Pretty much. I feel bad about that. Maybe I'll throw some highlights on as I talk. Just Detroit Lions highlights as I talk. I feel bad about this, but it is late and I nailed it the first time, and I really don't want to record again just for the video. So that's my situation. I apologize. And 5-star ratings from you guys this week, right? This is going to be a good thumbs up episode. So again, I apologize. If you're only an exclusive listener to the podcast, you only listen on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts, you probably are not going to notice the difference. So again, enjoy the audio and this graphic and perhaps some Detroit Lions highlights. All right.
Elbow, forearm, he's going to be down.
The result of the play is a touchdown.
And then the flag that was thrown on this was picked up.
I don't know, did it get the face mask?
Only do that if you're telling the official you're reporting.
The Lions hangover. Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to an exciting post-game edition of the Lions Hangover podcast. I am your host, Brad. Please do not forget, you can find me on all social medias, Facebook, Instagram, and X. Also, please rate and subscribe this podcast. Also, you are watching this on YouTube, or you can watch this on YouTube. You're also listening to me wherever you get your podcasts. So please check me out everywhere. The audio quality is the same, though, no matter where you go. What else I feel like I'm forgetting? Rate, subscribe, all that stuff. Lions Hangover podcast. Oh, share with your friends if you have a good time watching this. That's a good one, right? That's important. All right. The Lions win today over the Baltimore Ravens in Baltimore, something they haven't done in 20 years, with a final score of 38-30. What can you say about this game? The Lions played fantastic on all sides of the ball, offense and defense. Even though Baltimore scored 30 points, the defense was amazing. They had 7 sacks. A lot of those sacks, I feel like, give credit to the secondary because Lamar Jackson could not find anybody down the field. And, you know, when that happens, the defensive line is gonna sack the quarterback. I think Al-Quadin Muhammad, he got a couple sacks. Hutch got a sack and a forced fumble. Brian Branch, I thought, played great. You know, we didn't hear anything from Kirby Joseph. Kirby, come on, bro, where are you at on that one? DJ Reed, I thought, had a great game. Pretty much everybody had just overall, the team effort on this was fantastic. The Lions, they played as good as they needed to play. It's like they're getting it. I am not worried about John Morton's offense anymore. I think the Lions have it covered. I'm not worried about Calvin Shepard's defense. The Lions have it covered. Gibbs, a couple touchdowns. Montgomery, a couple touchdowns. St. Brown had a touchdown. Goff looked pretty good. I feel like he could have ran for that first down when he threw that horrible pass to, I think that was intended for St. Brown. But overall, Goff had a fantastic day. Gibbs was maybe the only one that struggled, and like I said, he still had 2 touchdowns. But clearly, this was Montgomery's day. I believe he was over 100 touchdowns today. really, really well coached today. I feel like the refs got in our way a little bit. That Brian Branch penalty for the low block, that made no sense to me whatsoever. I was happy the TV broadcast guys also agreed with me on that one. Lots of flowers today for everybody. So there's some stats and some records and some achievements in these guys' careers that I definitely need to bring up. Gibbs rushed for a 1-yard touchdown today. That was his 33rd career touchdown in 35 games. Of course, he gets number 34 in 35 games just a little bit later. This is the third straight primetime game in which he's rushed for a touchdown and his 13th touchdown in 12 primetime games. This is also the 11th game in which running backs Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery both rushed for touchdowns. This also establishes a new NFL record for the most games in which each member of the running back duo have rushed for touchdowns. So congratulations to both Gibbs and Montgomery for that achievement. David Montgomery has also rushed for a touchdown in 6 straight primetime games. So Gibbs is not the only primetime guy in this offense. St. Brown has produced his 37th career touchdown reception, passing Marvin Jones Jr. for the 3rd most touchdown receptions in team history. I don't know how I feel about that. 36 is a lot, but it's not quite a lot. Like, you would think that there'd be a little bit higher to become 3rd most touchdown receptions. Also, Montgomery has produced his 13th career 100-yard rushing game and his 5th 100-yard rushing game as a Detroit Lion. So congratulations to him. He is the only running backs in NFL history to log 500-plus scrimmage yards and 5 touchdowns through a player's first 4 career Monday Night Football games is Jahmyr Gibbs. This is quite a list here. Jahmyr Gibbs, Marshall Faulk, Emmitt Smith, Eric Dickerson, Muncie. I don't know. C. Muncie from 79 to 81. I feel embarrassed about that one. Earl Campbell, 78 to 79, and O.J. Simpson, 73 to 75. Jahmyr Gibbs, 29 career rushing touchdowns, now rank 4th all time. But yeah, all right. Ranked 4th all time in Lions franchise history. Also, again, like that, mixed emotions on that. 29 career rushing touchdowns, now 4th all-time franchise history. Like, you just think there would be more rushing touchdowns to become 4th on that list. But nonetheless, it's quite an accomplishment, and hopefully he sets the new benchmark for what is acceptable. Aiden Hutchinson also set a franchise record by producing a quarterback hit in 18 straight games. I think it's great that he's there getting pressure on the quarterback, but quarterback hits aren't necessarily, I don't know how I feel about that one. But let's talk about what went right today. As I was saying, the Lions defense just dominated, thoroughly impressed. It was a good game. It was a fun game. It was competitive up until the end when the Lions just sort of put it away. That Montgomery touchdown at the end, that final nail in the coffin was just amazing. His he had like a 73-yard run, was that right? We'll check that out in the stats in a little bit. It was Montgomery's day. If I had to give a game ball out to anybody, it would definitely be Montgomery and probably the defensive line. Everybody on defense played good. The defensive line was just amazing. Everybody was getting to Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, he had some rushing yards, but he obviously didn't kill us on the ground today. He didn't kill us in the air, even though he completed some passes. For 30 points, for giving up 30 points, there isn't much to complain about on defense. I think the Lions' defense was just phenomenal. Montgomery was just a beast. And kudos to the offensive line as well. Jared Goff did not get sacked at all, and I believe that ended the streak for the Baltimore Ravens, because I think they had a sack in so many certain games. The TV graphics said it, but I wasn't really paying attention. I was trying to take my own notes, and I worry more about the Lions' stats and achievements than I do for the Baltimore Ravens. These are my notes are thin, though, because it's just, everyone played well on defense. Everyone played well on offense. And, you can just list off a name and everything was perfect. The thing that was amazing to me was how frustrated we made the Baltimore Ravens. You could just see the frustration in Lamar Jackson's face, his eyes. We definitely frustrated the hell out of Derrick Henry, especially with his fumble. I'm sure he's frustrated with himself, but that frustration comes from us for sure. Like Derrick Henry did not have a great game. I just don't think the Lions allowed him to do anything. So what do you guys want to do? You want to talk about scoring stats right now? Scoring touchdowns? Okay. Well, let's talk about Jahmyr Gibbs' 1-yard touchdown rush. Now, the Baltimore Ravens answer right back with a Derrick Henry touchdown. He had a 28-yard rush, and that makes the game 7-7. Then the Lions strike back with a David Montgomery 1-yard rush. And then Rashad Bateman gets a 3-yard pass from Lamar Jackson. That keeps the game at 14-14, all tied up at the end of the second quarter. And then Baltimore gets the ball at the start of the second half. Mark Andrews gets a 14-yard pass from Lamar Jackson. That makes 21-14. That's the first time the Ravens have the lead in the game, but the Lions answer right back with Amon-Ra St. Brown 18-yard pass from Jared Goff. So that makes the game 21-21. Then after a solid defensive stand, Lions get the ball again, and they go down and score. Jahmyr Gibbs with his second touchdown of the day with a 4-yard rush. That makes it 28-21 Lions. Next time the Ravens have the ball, Tyler Loop kicks a 41-yard field goal. That makes the game 28-24. Lions come back with a field goal kick of their own by Jake Bates. He makes this 45-yard field goal. Then David Montgomery with a 31-yard rush. He puts the game away, making it 38-24. And then Mark Andrews gets the sympathy touchdown with 29 seconds left in the fourth quarter with a 27-yard pass from Lamar Jackson. The two-point conversion does fail. I also want to mention Jake Bates. He goes for the NFL record with that 67-yard kick. That kick was straight, and it wasn't straight, but it was long enough, and it only curved at the end of that kick. And we were so close to having that NFL record. I was really excited about that. Next time, though, that's like the kick I'm waiting for from Jake Bates. I'm waiting for that NFL record kick. So let's talk about stats here. Let's start with the bad guys. Lamar Jackson went 21 of 27 for 288 yards and 3 touchdowns. He had a quarterback rating of 148.1. He was sacked 7 times. Derrick Henry rushed the ball 12 times for 50 yards with 1 touchdown. Lamar Jackson had 7 carries for 35 yards. I mean, decent days for the running game, but overall the Lions held the Baltimore Ravens to only 85 yards rushing. I mean, hell of a job by the defense. Hell of a job. And as the game went on, it got harder and harder for the Baltimore Ravens to run the ball. Mark Andrews led the team with receptions. He had 6. He also had 2 touchdowns for 91 yards. Rashad Bateman had 5 catches for 63 yards. He also had a touchdown himself. Justice Hill, 3 catches for 45 yards. Devontae Walker had 1 catch for 34 yards, and Charlie Kohler had 2 catches for 22 yards. Zay Flowers, pretty much quiet all day. He only had 2 catches for 13 yards. Derrick Henry did have that fumble, and he lost it. Lamar Jackson also had a fumble, but they recovered that one. Kyle Hamilton led the team in tackles with 9 total tackles, 5 solo. John Jenkins had 8 tackles for 5, with 5 solo tackles. Teddy Buchanan, he had 8 tackles, 4 solo. Malachi Starks had 8 tackles, 3 solo, and Roquan Smith had 7 tackles with 6 solo. Tyler Loop made that 1 field goal for 41 yards, and Jordan Stout punted the ball 3 times for 157 yards with an average of 52.3. He was inside the 22 times. I thought their punter had a good game. I will give them credit for that. Their punter had a good game. Now let's talk about the heroes of the day. Jared Goff went 20 of 28 for 202 yards with 1 touchdown, 0 sacks, and a quarterback rating of 103.6. David Montgomery ran the ball 12 times for 151 yards. Monster day. 2 touchdowns, his longest being 72 yards on the day. Jahmyr Gibbs carried the ball 22 times. They just kept feeding him the ball it was insane how much they were feeding him the ball. And clearly it was David Montgomery's day. Kudos to him. Just feed the guy who's hottest on the day. I feel like David Montgomery should have had 22 carries, and Gibbs should have only had 12 that day, and next week it could be different, but we'll see. But Gibbs, anyway, still solid day, 22 carries, 67 yards, 2 touchdowns. So that's not bad. 4 rushing touchdowns on the day. Amon-Ra St. Brown led the team with 7 receptions, 77 yards. His longest being 20. He also had the touchdown. Jameis Williams only had 2 catches for 43 yards today. Quiet day for him. Sam Laporta, I thought, did really well. He had 4 catches for 33 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs had 5 catches for 32 yards. And that's after that first week. Was that first week against... Yeah, that was week 1 against the Packers when he had 10 catches for 30 yards, and he's the only receiver in NFL history to have 10 catches with the fewest amount of yards. So that was kind of embarrassing. So it's nice to see that the passing game is is back on track. David Montgomery did have a catch for 13 yards. Jared Goff did get credit with a fumble. No turnovers, though. Everybody recovered their own stuff. Jahmyr Gibbs had a recovery. DJ Reed had a recovery. So let's get to the defense. Jack Campbell led the team with tackles with 8. He had 1 sack. Derek Barnes had 7 tackles, 4 solo. He also had a sack today. Brian Branch had 6 tackles, 5 solo. Al-Quadin Muhammad had 4 tackles, 3 solo, 2.5 sacks, and a partridge in a pear tree. Anzalone had 4 tackles today, 1 solo, and he also gets credit for a half a sack. Let's go down to Aiden Hutchinson, who had 2 tackles himself with a sack. Trevor Nowaski had 2 tackles, 1 solo with a sack. And with that, I believe the math adds up to 7 total sacks. Khalif Raymond finally returned kicks today, and I thought he did a good job. He only had 1 return for 30 yards, but kudos to Jacob Sailors. He had 3 returns today for a total of 80 yards with an average of 26.7. So I kind of like that combo, the Sailors-Raymond combo. That's good. Raymond was back there returning punts, but he didn't have any returns. I do feel like he kind of messed up there. He should have let the one bounce into the end zone, but overall, he was good. Jake Bates went 1 for 2, his longest being 45 yards, and he was 5 for 5 on the extra points. No shade to him at all for missing the 67-yarder. Jack Fox punted the ball 3 times for 146 yards. 0 of them were inside the 20, so that's kind of a bummer. However, his longest was 53 yards. Let's talk about team stats. Excuse me. Lions had 24 first downs on the day. The Baltimore Ravens only had 21. The Lions ran 66 total plays of offense, where the Ravens only did 54. The Lions had 426 total yards of offense. The Baltimore Ravens only had 318. Lions only had 1 more drive over the Baltimore Ravens. Lions had 11 drives. The Ravens had 10. Let's see, rushing. Red zone. The Lions were 4 for 5 in the red zone. The Baltimore Ravens were 2 for 4. The Lions were penalized 8 times for 68 yards. I'm not entirely impressed with the refs today. However, they didn't cost us the game. A couple times it seemed like they could have, but a lot of times it's just stuff that we need to clean up, not anything particularly that the refs do. But that Brian Branch penalty was garbage. The Ravens were 3 for 10, 3 penalties for 10 yards. Time of possession, the Lions had the ball for 33 minutes, 18 seconds, which, if you're good at math, that means the Ravens had the ball for 26 minutes, 42 seconds. Total attendance today was 70,642. Up next for the Detroit Lions is the Cleveland Browns. Next week, week 5, right? Week 4. That's week 4 against the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns upset the Green Bay Packers, so we are now tied for first place with the Packers and the Minnesota Vikings. And the Bears are by themselves in last place. The Browns have a stellar defense. Probably a better defense than the Ravens, and the Ravens actually have a pretty good defense, even though we were able to put up 38 points on them today. The Lions are going to have to bring their A game again. This is definitely, we went over this. Everybody saw this. The Lions have one of the toughest schedules in the NFL this year. So there's not like an off week for them. The Lions are definitely going to have to bring their A game. They're going to have to be prepared. Thankfully, it's going to be at home in Detroit. So look for the crowd to be rowdy, especially after this victory. I think the fans are going to be pumped up. I know I'm going to be pumped up. I'm excited to be there. I just have so much to look forward to against the Browns. We definitely cannot take them lightly. I think over the 3 games, the Browns have proven that they need to be taken seriously, even if they are not the favorites to win that division. It's not going to be a cakewalk, though. So the Lions need to keep playing smart. They need to play cleaner. Even though today was an amazing game, there's still a lot for them to clean up on. Really, really solid performance today. I am looking forward to next week now. So it's going to be a Victory Tuesday. I hope you guys have enjoyed the show. I know I ran through all of this pretty fast. I just wanted to make sure I got it all. But how much butt can you kiss? Like, the Lions were just amazing today. And I know you saw the game, you're not going to just listen to me without watching the game. So, also I'm tired and it's, midnight now. So, that's it for me though. I hope you guys had a good time. Please rate and subscribe. Find me on all social medias. Give me a follow. Oh, and I'm on TikTok. I'm also working out another giveaway. I've got lots of Detroit Lions swag, so stay tuned for that. And I believe I said find me on TikTok as well. Yeah, okay. That's it for me. You guys have a good rest of your day. Go Lions.